No entry. Quebec freezes key immigration pathways, igniting federal tensions. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about topics in Canadian immigration, Quebec's decision to temporarily freeze two primary pathways to permanent residency for international students and skilled workers. Premier François Legault says this pause will help protect Quebec's healthcare and social services, but the move has sparked significant pushback from Ottawa. Canada's Immigration Minister, Marc Miller, argues this decision clashes with the national immigration goals, adding fuel to an ongoing debate. As we dig into the details, we'll reveal what this means for Quebec and Canada, but stay tuned to the end for a closer look at a key perspective that's driving Quebec's decision. Why does Premier Legault believe reducing immigration may be essential to preserving Quebec's culture and resources? We'll explore this argument and the province's stance on immigration's broader implications. If you want the full story behind Quebec's immigration stance and its ripple effects across Canada, make sure to hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's get started. Quebec's new immigration freeze explained. Quebec recently announced a pause on two primary immigration pathways to permanent residency. This decision halts new applications for Quebec Selection Certificates, or CSQs, for foreign students and economic immigrants. Premier François Legault cited pressures on the province's social and health services, along with an objective to clear out the backlog of applications, as major drivers behind this temporary measure. So, what does this pause mean for Quebec's immigration landscape, and how is the rest of Canada reacting? Today, we'll dive into why Quebec's decision is sparking tension with the federal government and explore its impact on thousands of immigrants hoping to call Quebec home. The Quebec Selection Certificate, CSQ. Quebec has a unique immigration system that grants it autonomy to select economic immigrants, allowing the province to manage its intake of French-speaking newcomers. Under the 1991 Canada-Quebec Accord, prospective immigrants to Quebec must first apply for a Quebec Selection Certificate before gaining permanent residency. This measure enables Quebec to prioritize applicants who meet its language and cultural requirements. Recently, however, the numbers of international students and foreign workers have grown significantly, putting pressure on Quebec's social infrastructure. Over the past year, nearly 1.2 million temporary residents entered Canada, and many have chosen Quebec as their base. In response, Premier Legault decided to temporarily stop issuing CSQs to foreign students and economic immigrants, hoping to control numbers, manage integration, and keep resources accessible to current residents. High immigration and pressures on public services. This freeze comes at a time when Quebec is facing significant pressure on its social services and healthcare systems. Legault's administration has raised concerns that high immigration levels make it increasingly difficult to meet the healthcare, education, and social service needs of residents. These issues are particularly noticeable in Montreal and other urban centers where infrastructure has been stretched by the rapid population increase due to immigration. Some advocates argue that immigration isn't the sole cause of these strains, pointing to systemic issues like funding shortages and staffing gaps within public sectors. Nevertheless, the Legault administration maintains that immigration is a key factor, highlighting the importance of ensuring that all Quebec residents have consistent access to essential services without risking quality due to sudden population increases. Economic impacts. How Quebec's freeze affects foreign workers and students. The effects of this decision are extensive, especially for foreign students and economic immigrants who viewed Quebec as a gateway to permanent residency in Canada. Quebec is a popular destination for international students, not only because of its educational offerings but also for the long-term opportunities in the Canadian job market. Skilled economic immigrants play a critical role in addressing labor shortages in Quebec, contributing to healthcare, technology, engineering, and the skilled trades, which are sectors in high demand for qualified talent. Pausing CSQs for foreign students and skilled workers may discourage prospective immigrants from choosing Quebec, potentially impacting the province's skilled workforce pipeline. This is likely to make it harder for industries dependent on international talent to find qualified professionals, especially given Canada's tight labor market and strong demand for expertise in sectors like healthcare, information technology, and engineering. As a result, Quebec businesses may struggle to meet demand without a reliable supply of qualified workers from abroad. Federal response. A clash of ideals. The freeze has also prompted a strong response from the federal government. Canada's Immigration Minister, Marc Miller, expressed concern over Quebec's decision to pause these immigration pathways, especially given that many applicants already live and work in Quebec. Miller indicated that the province's actions conflict with Canada's broader immigration goals, which aim to tackle labor shortages and stimulate economic growth through increased immigration. Ottawa recently reduced its own immigration targets from an initial 500,000 to just under 400,000 permanent residents annually by 2025, citing similar resource and infrastructure concerns. This adjustment reflects a balance between national economic needs and population growth pressures. The federal government's approach resonates with a growing sentiment across Canada, where some residents express concern about high immigration levels and their effects on housing and public services. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. Now, let's delve deeper into the core of this debate and what's at stake for Quebec and Canada. The argument for immigration reduction. Quebec's perspective. Premier Legault has consistently advocated for lower immigration levels, arguing that Quebec's distinct culture and language call for a carefully managed, gradual approach. Quebec's status within Canada emphasizes its French-speaking identity, which shapes much of its immigration policy. Legault contends that high immigration levels pose a risk to this cultural balance and create added challenges in integrating newcomers linguistically and socially. Quebec's stance aligns with a growing trend in Canada, where some provinces are calling for immigration policies that consider regional needs alongside national targets. Legault's decision underscores Quebec's determination to manage its immigration system according to provincial priorities, even if it conflicts with federal goals. Federal priorities and Canada's immigration strategy. On the federal side, Canada's government views immigration not only as a cultural benefit but as essential for addressing the country's aging population and labor shortages. Canada's low birth rate and aging workforce make immigration vital for sustaining the economy and social programs. In recent years, Ottawa raised immigration targets to ensure there are enough working-age people to support the retired population. But as numbers rise, concerns about infrastructure, housing, and social service capacity grow. Ottawa's decision to lower immigration targets slightly is a response to these pressures, but it doesn't align with Quebec's push for even more significant reductions within the province. Potential impacts on Francophone immigration. Quebec has long emphasized the importance of French-speaking immigration, shaping policies to boost Francophone newcomer numbers. The federal government has supported this through initiatives aimed at encouraging Francophone immigration across Canada, especially in Quebec, to protect French-language culture. However, Quebec's freeze on two primary immigration streams could disrupt these efforts, potentially leaving a gap in its goal to attract French-speaking immigrants. Minister Miller pointed out that if Quebec does not welcome these French-speaking newcomers, they could be integrated into other parts of Canada, sparking further debate about how provinces handle Francophone immigration and preserve language policies. The backlog challenge. Clearing the path for newcomers. One reason behind Quebec's pause on CSQs is the need to clear the existing backlog of applications. With increased immigration, Quebec has faced delays in processing applications, creating extended wait times for applicants. The temporary pause aims to focus on reducing this backlog, ensuring that those already in the system receive timely processing. Critics, however, argue that this pause might worsen labor shortages by slowing the intake of skilled workers. Current applicants in the queue could face uncertainty, wondering how the policy change might affect their timelines and future prospects in Quebec. Broader implications for Canada's immigration policy. Quebec's decision raises important questions for the future of immigration policy across Canada. As provinces work to align immigration policies with local needs, Ottawa faces a challenge in balancing national and regional priorities. The Canada-Quebec Accord, which grants Quebec significant autonomy over immigration, might inspire other provinces to seek similar arrangements. If Quebec's approach proves effective, other provinces may also push for more control over their immigration processes, potentially leading to a more decentralized immigration system where provinces establish their own quotas and criteria to address specific labor market and social needs. Solutions and the path forward. As Quebec and Ottawa debate the best approach to immigration, collaboration may be the key to a solution. Quebec could work with Ottawa on a shared strategy that considers both provincial and national interests. Additional federal support for housing and social services could help Quebec manage more immigrants without overstretching its resources. Better integration programs and expanded French language education for newcomers would also help Quebec attract and retain more French-speaking immigrants. Streamlining immigration processing times and enhancing resources within Quebec's system could reduce the need for pauses, creating a more reliable intake of skilled students and workers. So, that wraps up Quebec's bold move to freeze key immigration pathways, a decision that's shaking up Canada's immigration landscape and sparking some tough questions about balancing national and regional priorities. From social service demands to cultural preservation, we've seen how Quebec's approach differs from the federal vision and why Ottawa is urging a different path forward. As we continue to watch these developments unfold, it's clear that the balance between growth and sustainability in immigration will remain a crucial topic for Canada. Thank you for tuning in to Canada Chronicles. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update on Canadian immigration and policy. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what you think about Quebec's decision. Do you agree with this move, or do you think it's time for a new approach? Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.